Hello, Captain. Keeping the boat running at all times is one of the most important jobs that a captain has. A broken engine is not the end of the world on a sailboat, but getting into port or anchorage might be tricky under sail, and then there is the issue of fixing or replacing whatever part broke. Luckily, diesel engines are tough and simple to operate, and with proper maintenance and monitoring, it can give you many years of service. The large majority of engine issues are preventable through simple checks to the different systems. A typical diesel marine engine has different systems that need to be in good condition in order for it to work correctly. The fuel system, the cooling system, the electrical system, and the mechanical system of the engine need to be checked often when on passage, whether you are coastal cruising or a long ocean passage. Having the correct tools to monitor and repair your engine, as well as the spare parts in case of breakdown, can mean the difference between a successful, pleasant cruise or a stressful experience. Which brings us to the first tip of the day, which is tip number 1. Have a temperature sensor handy so you can monitor the temperature of the alternator, cables, and hoses for increases in temperature that could indicate a problem. An increase in the temperature of the alternator, or on one of the cable's ends, could be a sign that you have a loose cable, a short in the equipment, or a problem with the batteries. Check the temperature every time you do an engine inspection. On passage, it is recommended every 1 to 3 hours. Tip number 2. Check your engine oil every 4 hours on long trips. If the oil is going down, it might be a sign of a leak. Inspect the engine for leaks, and add oil as needed. The oil is the lifeblood of your diesel engine, and having fresh, clean oil with the proper viscosity increases the lifespan of your engine. Tip number 3. When you inspect your engine, monitor your pulleys and belts for alignment, vibration, or any strange sound coming from that area. Misalignment of a belt could indicate that a sheave is loose and needs to be aligned and tightened. A strange sound could mean one of the belts is slipping and needs to be tightened. A vibration could indicate that the alternator needs adjusting or the alternator bracket needs tightening. Belts do break eventually, so if you notice a belt is starting to crack in places or it is chafing, then it's time to put in a new one. Tip number 4. Inspect to see if hoses are making contact with harder surfaces that could possibly turn into chafing. If you spot a place where a hose is chafing, make sure to put another material in between the two. In order to stop the chafing or move the hose and secure it, check for any wet parts, especially around the ends and the hose claps. If a hose begins to show signs of cracking or bulging up, then it is time to replace it. All hoses under the waterline should be double clamped with stainless steel clamps. Number 5. Keep your engine's temperature at the recommended level. Most marine diesels work efficiently between 180 degrees Fahrenheit and 190 degrees Fahrenheit at low RPMs and no load. A diesel does not get to the adequate temperature and starts producing carbons that start to create future problems within the engine. If the engine starts to overheat, there could be a blockage of water in the cooling system. Check the water filter and intake, then check thermostat and raw water impeller inside the impeller pump. Also, check the level of coolant inside the heat exchanger and add if needed. Tip number 6. Check the bowl of your fuel filter for dirt and clarity, as well as water on the bottom every 4 to 8 hours while running the engine. Clean fuel, free from water, is crucial to a happy diesel engine and a happy skipper. Sometimes you may be pumping fuel in your tank that is not very clean, or worse, may have water in it. If you notice the bowl getting cloudy and deposits at the bottom, drain the bowl and check the fuel filter. If the pressure starts to build up in the fuel system, it means you need to check the filter. Do this inspection as recommended and before entering into any port, harbor, or inlet, as your filter may clog and your engine might cease at the wrong time when you are entering a dangerous inlet or a crowded harbor. Your heart rate will increase to new levels if this ever happens. Having a double filter system, like the one shown here, is a great safety feature, as it allows you to immediately know through an audible and visual alarm if you have a clogged filter before the engine ceases. It also allows you to switch to the clean filter without having to stop your diesel engine allowing you to replace the dirty filter then, or at a later more suitable time. Tip number 7. Use fuel additives to keep your fuel tank clean and your fuel injectors clean. Diesel stored in a tank for any length of time can grow algae, which can clog up fuel filters and tank intakes. It can also play havoc on your diesel engine if it makes its way in there. Use an algae treatment when you fill up and fuel injector cleaner also when you fill up the tanks to prevent any of those problems. For many more tips on how you can improve your skills and your overall experience while cruising to exotic destinations, join our sailing community and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So long and fair winds, Captain.